Welcome back to the Wilson Combat YouTube channel. Fortunate enough to have a good friend Mike Cyrus here, who probably knows more about the Lehigh product than anybody on the planet. He's going to tell us a lot about what we're testing here and what we're trying to accomplish. Welcome, Mike.
Oh, thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Yeah. What we'd like to accomplish with the series of videos that we're going to do is show you the quality of manufacture of the product, the performance goals of the product, how we test the product thoroughly, just kind of an overview of how we get from a concept of a bullet to a proven product that is available for you customers.
No, well, Bill, one thing that I noticed as soon as you began to take ownership of Lehigh Defense was you began to study the product line very close and look at some gaps that we had, some bullets that needed maybe some improvements, some tweaks. And I've said it before on a couple of different occasions that how impressed that I was with how the tenacity that you went after looking at some of these past bullets and ways to improve them, even some weight ranges of some bullets that needed to be brought up or changed a little bit. And then how we did a lot of testing in the past with Lehigh Defense, but I think that you've taken that to the next level with everything that you own and that you're in charge of, from having the hogs and the cadavers. And I think you've almost perfected the ability of testing the bullet at a water tank. Water, we know how it does that hydraulic effects, and it gives really good consistent bullet performance. We always kind of knew that, and we shoot it in gel, but as far as to take a bullet to go kill a hog the night before, and then to even test what in that hog's cadaver and see what that consistency was like, to shoot that in calibrated gel and to see if that consistency, if it exactly matched up, then also to perfect that in a water, which is a common available, something you can test something in, and that through all of these different mediums, these bullets come out time after time, very, very consistent, exactly as what you predicted them to do.
You know, I mean, as you know, water is water. So, I mean, you know, you get extremely consistent results. Yeah. And so what we'd like to show people is, you know, we can take that consistent result and show that it is the same across other mediums. Yeah. You know, I mean, what it does in water, it'll also do in gel, and it'll most likely do in game, depending on what kind of a bone it hits or whatever. I mean,
right.
It'll give you a real good indication if it's doing the same thing in an actual hog cadaver. You know, you might have to shoot more than one to you know, not have it, you know, one petal deformed by a bone or something like that, which you don't get in gel or water, obviously.
Absolutely. We've used some sim bone in the past too, and I think it does a good job of you know, you can make it. We used to make some inserts in gel and put the sim bone in there, simulated, put a gene over it. So Lehigh Defense has always been about making sure that the product was up to snuff. You know, what it did. And a lot of my friends and family, and you probably had the same thing in your career, people, you know, how fun it is to own a gun company, or how fun it is to be able to test and work bullets. And I tell them, yeah, but there's also a certain amount of responsibility. And I think a lot of people, my friends or people that know me, they don't take how responsible that now that you are and that I am for making good products. You know, the handguns, these new 9mm bullets that Bill's putting out, Lehigh Defense. You know, that may be the bullet somebody has to trust their life to when that person's at home and an intruder comes in. On the hunting side, it may be just a little bit brighter subject. You know, when you've got to go to Africa, we're sitting here in your beautiful room here with some African trophies, but sometimes it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When that person trusts that one shot to this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in Africa, you know, we want to make sure that they have a good experience, right?
That's right, and I'm headed back to Africa in August and gonna test some new products over there on actual game, and you know, just like I do here at the ranch. We shoot hundreds of deer a year here on the ranch, and hundreds of hogs, you know, sometimes.
A little more than hundreds, but several hundred.
Yeah, we shoot a lot of hogs here on the ranch. So, you know, not only do, you know, we prove out what a bullet will do in water and gel, you know, I mean, we actually go out and kill game with it. So we know exactly what it's going to do. And and I have lots of opportunities, especially when I'm guiding hunters here to finish off a wounded hog with a handgun bullet, to see what see what it does also.
An excellent opportunity while there's, that body temperature is still up and they're in a some normal type of a state, either up on their haunches trying to regain and get back on their feet or whatever. Muscles are nice and tight and all those types of things that happen in real hunting type situations. And also, I think I've always said that Lehigh Defense, we never have to talk bad about anybody else's bullets or products. We're doing enough good things here that we're going to stay focused on what Lehigh Defense brings to the table, new developments, and the thorough testing of these products. But there's a lot of good bullets out there, and I think one of the things, through your lifetime of hunting and shooting, you've seen a lot of good bullets, you've seen some bad bullets, and now that you basically are 100% in control of Lehigh Defense, now you have the opportunity to go over with Randy over there at your new Clarksville location and say, hey, I want a certain weight. I want a little more of a base, a heavier base, or I want a little more pedaling out of these extreme chaos, or I'd like to introduce a new maximum expansion for hunting and for self-defense use. Now that you're in control, I see you've jumped on that 100%, and I think it's great.
Yeah, we're just trying to fill in the voids in the product line.
Yep.
And what we hope to do, this video stuff, is show people that we got some pretty unique product. I mean, we've, like for example, our new 9mm 115 grain control fracture. I think it's the best self-defense bullet on the market. It's what's in my handgun and my spare mag right now, and I trust my life to it. And I don't think there's anything on the market that is terminally effective as this bullet in a 9mm.
No. I'd 100% agree. Back what Bill has done recently here, he's taken the past 105 grain 9mm control fracturing bullet. He brought that up to a little bit more of a typical 9mm bullet weight to 115 grains, which I really like about that. He's redesigned the front end of that bullet, and then, like you said, through all the testing methods. But there's just nothing about having these three fracturing petals that come off, and they're driven out by the design of the bullet. These three, they almost always come off in a triangular type pattern. You've got this nice, diameter 355 shank that penetrates straight through. Gives you deep penetration. Usually I've seen that in gel, usually around 14 to 16 inches, maybe even a little bit more on that base. And those petals are always up there consistently between 6 and 8 inches. And it's just, there's just nothing like it.
It's a very terminally effective bullet.
Well, when you say you trust it, I really like what I saw in controlled fracturing bullets. And some reason the public at that, we didn't probably do a good job marketing that. But now that you're in control of all the levers and going forward, we're seeing that, and I do like this new weight. I think this weight is going to be something more people are going to be adhere to. They're going to want to purchase there with that 115, and there's just nothing not to like about it.
So another plus to it too, it typically shoots closer to point of aim of most handguns.
Yeah, very good point.
Because the weight's up kind of the normal weight that most guns are set up to zero with. So yeah, that's kind of a plus there. But while we're on the topic of unique, really good product in the product line, another overlooked product that's been the product line a long time is the Control Chaos hunting bullets.
Yes.
Hunting or tactical, whichever application there is. I've got tons of experience with that now, and I can tell you for a fact, boy, you're talking about animals trying to get back up or whatever. If you place a shot reasonably well with the Control Chaos, they don't get back up. That's all there is to it. They're DRT right on the spot, and they don't get back up. It is the most amazing bullet that I've ever shot animals with in my life. It's impressive. It really is. And now, we've kind of taken that one step further, with the Extreme Chaos line and
yes.
that new 160 for the 308. It's a pretty amazing bullet. We've got the fracturing petals come off at the front, and then we've got a base that expanded some out to
right.
about 42 caliber, that continues on. So yeah. We got the best of everything there. We got, the initial, massive, wound
right.
plus a deep penetrating expanding base.
Right. I had to have a little bit of a smirk there to myself when you're talking about that large expanding base on that thing. You know, in the past, controlled chaos, whatever, the pedals came off and did whatever. We were never able to really get a good expansion on that 30 caliber .308. You know, now, you know, you've got that thing up another half a diameter with that expansioner, and it really makes that, it's like that exiting shank. I always just call it a full diameter wad cutter type shank. Now what Bill's able to have done is got that thing a lot larger than what would have been the original .308. You're up to what diameter? A lot of these?
Usually about 42.
Yeah.
420 thou.
Yeah, a huge improvement on that. And so basically when that thing exit, you know, in the old days of shooting semi-wad cutters or non-expanding bullets, everybody was trying to get to a bigger caliber to get that bigger, you know, that bigger diameter on an exit. And that's basically what you've done with the new 160 XE is and you know, earlier I talked about the amount of work and engineering and the testing it has to do. That took a lot of time to get that thing to flange out and to get that, didn't it? It was a lot of work.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, you know, Randy and I work on a system on our revs, you know, through the alphabet, A, B, C, D, whatever. And a couple of these bullets before we finally got to the final design, you know, we went through the alphabet once and we were at LL on the second time through the alphabet. We tested that many revs before we finally, okay, this is finally as good as we're going to get it, you know. Imagine how long that would take somebody doing a conventional cup and core bullet. I mean, all the tooling changes it would take to do that many revs, you know. And we're, you know, we can often test 2 different revs in a day and sometimes even 3. Right. In one day of the, you know, as we're working up designs of bullets. So it's kind of an advantage of the process that we do.
It's more than even kind of an advantage. It is a huge advantage not to have to go back to a tool and a die maker, which you're very experienced at, and say that you need a design change. And if you tried to do that 2 to 3 times in a week, well, you probably wouldn't have a staff to work. They'd probably throw in the towel and go home. But with these CNC machines and these programmings, you get a good guy like Randy over there running the shop. Bill having experience to know exactly what he wants to see, what he wants out of a bullet. And already had the idea, you know, again, we don't just go into these, you know, these machines and just kind of, you know, fly by the seat of our pants. You know, Bill studied the product line, knew exactly what he wanted, what weight he wanted. He knew he wanted that not just to be a full diameter shank exiting, but he wanted that diameter increase. So he had an idea, you know, as he's sitting over here at the ranch and, you know, running his shop and his businesses. You know, he had a goal. You know, he knew he had the target he wanted to hit. And so then he goes over there and they start that. And as he said, you can make, you know, multiple prototypes in a day, and you can also test those. You come back in the evening here at the ranch or do whatever. If Randy's making those during the day, these long days of summer, by the next morning, Bill can tell Randy what he liked and what he didn't. Or Randy sometimes comes out here and just that quick. You know, and that 160 XE, the video was produced there a few weeks ago. Man, that's the bomb, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. Well, I think we need to get to the range and start showing people how we test this product and show exactly what the product's going to do.
Oh, it's going to be a good time.